let's start on opening a base plate. You can choose any. I'll just recommend base plate, classic base plate, or flat terrain, or village. It doesn't matter as long as it's not like laser tag. I'll use the base plate. So first of all, once you join, you may see that there are different kinds of things. You have a spawn point, and once we play, as you see, you get put onto this. It's like where you spawn, as it says. You can grab things. You can in the explorer right here. You can move it around. You can add parts here, which we can also use for a lot of stuff. We can use it for scripting, like moving it with scripts, changing the color with scripts. We can do everything with it. Just imagine something you can probably script it. Well, in this video I'll be showing you the simple parts of scripting, which will actually be, this will also be the easiest. So I'll be telling you how to script parts, how to, well actually just anything at this point. But you can make scripts in script service, in the workspace, in starter player. There are local scripts. I'll be telling everything that, not in this part, but also in other episodes. So let's start on how to script. So how to open a script, it's very simple. You basically go to server script service, or you go into workspace. I'll be using server script service. The plus icon and add a simple script. You can name this anything like test script, whatever you can name it, whatever. So as you see, we have print hello right here. Once you click play, as you see in the output, you see hello world. So it will say print hello world, and that basically puts it in the output. That's basically what print is. There's also warn, and if you type warn and then between these things, and then you can type anything like hi. I see this one will be orange. It's like a warning from if something is wrong in your code. This is mostly used to check if you've actually done well, it's actually just for debugging. So for example, if something's wrong, they could say this is wrong, and as you see, this is wrong. But we can also make it if something happens, then it's wrong. So that's what it's kind of used for. Now we've got multiple things here. We have a part. I recommend changing the name bit to part 1 for something. Well, so how do we? You can see multiple things. So first of all, let's look in the Explorer. This is the game. So everything that's in the Explorer is the game. That's just everything. Inside the game, we have all these stuff like workspace, players, lightning, material service, etc. So basically, the workspace is right here. You can say the works in different things. So as you see, the game is just everything. Now, how do we take the workspace, for example? We say game.workspace. This basically says it's going to look in the whole game, and then we say workspace, so it searches in the workspace. That's basically what it's used for. And we can do dot part 1. So this will basically search in the whole game, so from everything in the game to the workspace to part 1. It's very cool. But that's not exactly what it does. So this is how they basically find something. You can also do workspace part 1. If I'm going to make a small statement, you guys probably won't understand this, but if you can also, instead of game.workspace, you can also just put workspace. If workspace.part1, then print workspace part1 found. So this is basically going to check real quick if workspace.part1 is here. As you see, it says workspace part1 found. This is because if workspace.part1 then basically means right here in this situation if it exists. So that's basically what I said here. If it exists, then it prints this, and printing was that it puts it in the output. Anyways, today I'll be helping you guys on what variables are. So variables, let me just write one as an example. Local part1 equals workspace.part1. This is basically very simple. You just give it the information. So as you see, we have part1. Part1 equals workspace.part1. So this means that part1 is this part. That's because it searches in the workspace. Now for part 1. So basically we're telling here, part 1, this is a name. You can name it anything. You could name this poop. Like, It's just a name. So we're saying poop will also be able to use instead of workspace.part1. So maybe you can go in the properties page, and if we just search transparency, as you see, transparency is basically that you can just change how visible it is. So you can do two things. You can say workspace.part1.transparency, and this basically just is the same here. You can actually see it's 0. So what we're saying here is the workspace part 1. So we're talking about this part. Then we're going to search for transparency, which is in the which is in the properties page, and so we're searching for transparency, and then we can change it to 0.5. What you also can do is instead of right here, just put it so 0.5. There you go. It's like that. It's just the same. So now once we play, I think this should work. Oh. As you see, it's halfly invisible. That's because we put that here. Now what is the variable used for? You can also variable poop.transparency equals 0.8. That's 0.8. I missed it. So instead of this, we can also use this, and it will also be mostly invisible. That's a bit what did I just say poop? Okay, that's a bit how variables work. So you can just name it anything, and then you can use it easier. There's also a function on Roblox called can collide, for example. So if we just play the game, as you see, you'll be able to touch it, the part. And now once we turn can collide off, we'll not be able to touch it. That's basically what it does. So it basically just makes it that you can't touch it anymore, which you can also change through scripts. So let's turn can collide on. So poop.can collide equals false. Now if we play, as you see, we can't touch it anymore. So that's a bit how that works. It's a very simple mechanism on, well, a very quick and easy example on how it can be used. So you can use this for anything. So local spawn equals workspace.spawn location. So basically spawn.transparency equals 1. Always make sure to have a capital letter T and for most things. As you see, it's invisible now, so it's basically just a name that you give it, which you can easily get back to. So next time you want to script these kinds of parts, just make sure you use variables. It's way quicker for bigger scripts and stuff, so make sure to use that. Besides that, we'll also be going into some other stuff like if statements in this video, so make sure to hang around. If statements, a pretty interesting part. Let's say we have the works. Let's get a variable local poop equals workspace dot part1. As you see, we're just calling poop part1 again. So what we do is if poop, then print part1 found. So what this basically does, it's if poop exists, then it will print this. So if just a name means if it will search if it exists. If we do something like poop.transparency equals 0.5, then we can do if poop.transparency equals 0.5. Make sure to do double equals. I'll explain it later. If it's 0.5, like if the transparency is 0.5, then we print this. So then transparency equals 0.5. Now you can also use else statements. We'll go into that too. As you see, part1 found and transparency equals 0.5. So that's a bit how if statements work. But I recommend just if you're just starting out, just use something like if poop or whatever name you gave it. So if poop, then actually it warns poop. So but if we just misspell it, so if workspace.part, then warn poop, else warn there's no poop. So this is basically an else statement. Oh, my bad. If well, this can be used. Let me just use poop again. If poop.transparency equals 0.4, then this, else there's no poop. So what we're checking here, if the transparency of poop is 0.4, then it will warn poop. If that's not the case, so it's not 0.4 transparency, then we'll warn that there's no poop. I don't know why I gave that name, don't worry about it. So make sure to check that to see. This is just used for debugging, so I recommend using it. Most people just print normal things, and like if there's nothing, then you warn it. That's used for debugging scripts. So this is basically what I want to talk about this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and just make sure to comment everything. If you have questions, make sure to comment it. If you have feedback, make sure to comment it. I'll happily answer everything. Now I'll see you in the next video, guys, with loops. I'll be explaining loops and some other simple stuff. We'll go into pairs probably too. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next time.